Jai Gurudev. Welcome to Yoga Vasistha session 54. We are still on page 206. We have to do the last paragraph. I gave you the homework last week to read that last paragraph again and figure out of the techniques mentioned there, which technique have you been practicing? Did you find out even one technique? Yeah? Let's look at this. It says, the movement of prana is also arrested by the effortless practice of breathing without strain in seclusion. Haven't you been doing that? Yeah? Let's look at it in detail.
So here is the first technique. What is the first technique? Movement of prana arrested by effortless practice of breathing in seclusion. In other words, the Sudarshan Kriya. Yeah, you have already been doing the Sudarshan Kriya probably for years together, right? So what is Sudarshan Kriya really? We arrest the movement of prana. Yeah, and it's a very effortless practice. Have you noticed? Only initially, first couple of days you made an effort to understand the technique, yeah, to understand the different cycles of Soham. But once you understood it, it was very effortless. After that, you're just breathing in those different cycles. Yeah. Now, what do these cycles really do? How do you achieve this peace of mind? Let's understand this. Normally, your mind goes on blah, blah, blah. You can see the mind activity there. Yeah. And the mind goes on blah, 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 blah. You come and sit down for Kriya. You're doing pranayam, bhastrika. Your mind is still going on blah, 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 blah. Yeah. The number of thoughts start reducing with pranayam and bhastrika and om. But what does Sudarshan Kriya really do? Let's understand here. So by the time you have started breathing in the cycles, your mind is still talking a little bit. The thoughts were probably 100 thoughts when you sat down for pranayam, but by the time you reach Sudarshan Kriya, they've come down to say 5 thoughts. Yeah. And then there is this graph here where I show you 5 thoughts and 4.8 thoughts and 5 thoughts and 4.5 thoughts. You see? These thoughts are just going on blah, 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 blah. And you're breathing. So-hum. And you're breathing in your slow cycles and then the medium cycles. And you're continuously thinking. But what happens in the fast cycles at 4.9? You break the pattern of the breath. You start breathing so fast that you can't think. Yeah, the thought pattern automatically breaks and you come to no mind. Suddenly that blah, blah, blah at 4.9 dips down to 0. Have you noticed this happening? Yeah, and again, of course, the mind gets back to its chitter chatter because it's very smart and cruel and cunning. So it goes back to its 4.1 thoughts and then 3.7 thoughts and 3.9 and 3.5 and 4 thoughts. And suddenly again, after your second round of slow medium, you again came to the fast and again the rhythm of the prana is broken and that breaks the rhythm of thought and the mind shuts up and again you dip down to no mind. This happens in a few repetitions again and again, especially during the long Kriya. Then a point comes after a few repetitions that only 1 or 2 thoughts are there, and then suddenly there are no thoughts. This especially happens at the end of the Kriya when you lie down. For some time, you're not breathing and you're not thinking even. Happens, right? Yeah. That is the pure state of no mind. Yeah? by breaking the rhythm of the prana or the movement of prana, by effortless practice of breathing in seclusion, you can achieve the state of no mind. We have all experienced this here. Is there anybody here who can say that he or she has not experienced this? No, na? So, this makes our understanding very clear. What is the meaning of breaking the rhythm or restraining the prana? Clear? Technique number 1 is clear to everybody. That has been stated in the book. Yeah. Let's read that line again. The movement of prana is also arrested by the effortless practice of breathing without strain in seclusion. Clear? That is the first line of the last paragraph on the page. Yeah. Now he starts the second technique. The second technique, he says, or the repetition of the sacred Om with the experience of its meaning when the consciousness reaches the deep sleep state. We have discussed this n number of times before. Yeah. The 3 states of consciousness, are we all aware of that? The waking state, the dreaming state, and the deep sleep state. Yeah. We think we are awake and aware during the waking state, but we are not really aware. Yeah. The consciousness is not really aware, not established in itself. The consciousness is lost in the objects of the senses. Yeah? When this consciousness withdraws from the objects of the senses and is established in the self in the waking state and in the dreaming state and in the deep sleep state. Yeah? That is when cessation of the Vishayas happen. What is Vishayas? The objects of the senses. And then the movement of the prana automatically stops. Yes. That is when you can also experience the same peace, the same state of no mind when you are chanting Om. Yeah, so here the most important part is when the consciousness reaches the deep sleep state or sushupti. Yeah, and how? With awareness, complete awareness. Yeah, and you chant Om at that time. Then you experience the state of no mind. We have discussed this in Kathopanishad also. At the last moment, when you move away from this body, what will you do? Yeah, get lost in ragas and dveshas. Yeah, money, you'll think about money. Or you'll think about chicken. No, na. Yeah, you just chant Om so that when you die, you don't die in a deep sleep state without awareness. You go into that deep sleep state with awareness. Yeah? And one who goes into deep sleep state with awareness, he can meet the window of liberation. Remember, all this we have done in Kathopanishad. Yeah? The window of liberation is available only to the person who is aware at the point of death. Yes? Clear?
So we saw 2 techniques. One, where through the pattern of breathing and breaking this rhythm of breathing, we can actually calm the mind and bring it to a state of no mind. That is what you have been practicing in Sudarshan Kriya. And the second technique that we saw is the one that we had done in Kathopanishad. Here I want to talk a little bit more. Yeah. In waking state, I think I am awake and aware. Yes, but there are so many thoughts clouding my entire vision of what reality is that I am not really awake and aware. Yes. With practice of meditation, with the help of scriptures, and with this intention of being 100% aware in the present moment, with these practices, when I come into the waking state and I master being in the waking state, 100% awareness, then only I can take this awareness from waking to the dreaming state of consciousness. Clear? From dreaming state of consciousness, when I become completely aware in the night when I'm sleeping, oh, I'm dreaming right now. This is what is happening. Actually being able to separate myself, I'm completely aware of the dream as a dream. What happens? These dreams start falling off automatically, and the dreaming state of consciousness starts narrowing and completely drops off. That is the meaning of having mastered the dreaming state of consciousness with 100% awareness. Now when I move from dreaming to the deep sleep state of consciousness, which also happens in the night when you are sleeping, in deep sleep, yes, but completely aware, not the way you are unconscious, yeah, not unconscious, completely aware that you are sleeping. That the body is lying absolutely still in this posture. Even in deep sleep, being able to observe, oh, the body turned right or it turned left right now. That is called 100% awareness in the deep sleep state or the Sushupta Avastha. When you reach that state and master that state while living, what happens at the point of death? At the point of death, you are not totally unconscious. You are aware. Yes, death happens in the deep sleep state of consciousness. Remember, we've talked about this. Birth and death both happen in the deep sleep state of consciousness. A person who lacks awareness is knocked out unconscious. But the person who has practiced this awareness throughout his life, throughout the waking state, dreaming state and the deep sleep states of day and night, and has mastered it even in the deep sleep state, what happens to such a person at death? He is not knocked unconscious. He is very aware. Yes. And at that moment, when you chant Om, with the complete awareness in the deep sleep state, then you can meet the window of liberation. Clear? We discussed this at length in Kathopanishad, in Bhagavad Gita, right? So, this is the second technique. Now let's move on to the third technique. The third technique is mostly the Kanishta Pranayam or the 3-stage Pranayam that we have all been practicing along with our Sudarshan Kriya. Yeah? It's just the positions of the hand are not there in these techniques. These techniques are purely focusing on the breath. So let's understand technique number 3.
Let's look at the sentence in the book. The practice of exhalation when the prana roams in space without touching the limbs of the body. This is called the Rechaka Pranayam. Here, what Vasistha says is that the prana roams in space without touching limbs of the body. Let's understand what is he talking about here. The focus here is completely on exhalation. Yeah, in this pranayam called Rechaka Pranayam, the focus is on exhalation. Rechaka itself means exhalation. Yeah. So what will you do in this? You will inhale for a few seconds, but exhalation is twice as long as inhalation. For example, if you inhale for 4 seconds, your exhalation should be 8 seconds, twice as long. Got it? Yeah. So we can all practice this right now. Wherever you are, just sit, close your eyes. Let's practice this with Ujjayi breath. Take a normal breath in and out. Take another normal breath in and let go. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And relax. And very slowly you may open your eyes. Got it? Exhalation is twice as of inhalation. There is no stopping, no holding of breath in this. Yeah? So full focus here is on exhalation. This is called Rechaka Pranayam. This is clear? Yeah? Let's go back to the book. In the book, the next sentence is of inhalation leading to the peaceful movement of prana. This is called Puraka Pranayam. Puraka word itself means inhalation. Yeah. Inhalation here is twice that of exhalation. Exactly opposite of the Rechaka Pranayam that we just did. Yeah. Here inhalation is twice. So focus is on inhalation here. Yeah. Let's practice this once. Yeah. We'll do it with Ujjayi breath as we all know Ujjayi. Let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Take another deep breath in and let go. And with Ujjayi, breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2. And relax. Very slowly. When you feel like it, you may open your eyes. Got it? This is Puraka. Puraka is the focus is on inhalation, not exhalation. Yeah. Now what does all this mean? Rechaka is focus on exhalation. Puraka is focus on inhalation. what does it do? When you just focus on the movement of the prana, either inhaling or exhaling. Yeah. Initially you're doing this with counts, but when you learn to do this in solitude without counts, what it does is it smoothens your breath completely, and because your complete awareness is on the breath, the mind stops. Yeah. Mind stops because the prana also stops. The vibration in the prana stops. What is vibration? Yeah. Here it's not just the normal motion of prana. Here vibration is really a spandan. Yeah, like a jolt, a jerk. Yeah. This is very difficult to understand because in pranic language it is just called a spandan, as in the prana is not moving smoothly through the pranic channels. Yes, and that is because of a lot of, discomfort at the body level, at the mind level, the individual being lost in Maya, lots of inner complicated environment makes this happen, that the prana does not flow without a jerk or does not flow smoothly through the nadis. But when we focus on the breath, either through exhalation or inhalation, it smoothens out the flow of prana in the nadis or the pranic channels. And when it smoothens it out and the vibration in the prana stops, then the mind also stops. So far clear? Rechaka and Puraka? Next we go on to retention. Let's look at the book. In the book, it's almost the middle of that paragraph. And of retention, bringing it to a standstill for a long time. Yeah. So retention means kumbhaka. Yeah. This is called the kumbhaka pranayam. This is nothing but the gap that you have been practicing for so many days now. Yeah. You have been practicing the gap inside and outside. Yeah. Inside is when I take a deep breath in and I hold it inside. Yeah. That is the gap inside, and it is called abhyantara kumbhaka. When I exhale completely and I hold the breath outside, that is called bahya kumbhaka. Yes, bahya word itself is outside. In Hindi we also use bahar. Yeah, and abhyantara is like the Hindi word antar, inside. Yeah, bahya kumbhaka and antara kumbhaka, outside and inside retention or holding or pause or gap in the breath. Do you understand the two terminologies used here? Yeah. So basically when I breathe out, what happens? I focus completely on the gap outside. So I'll give you a longer count for the gaps now. Yeah. And when I breathe in, I'll focus on the gap inside. Yes. Is this clear? Yeah. Both of these techniques, bahya and abhyantara, help to silence that movement or that vibration of prana that disturbs and creates thoughts really. Yeah. So let's practice. I'll give you only 2 counts for inhalation and exhalation, but around 6 counts for holding. Yeah. Come on. When you breathe, you have to breathe in fast like that. Or breathe out fast. The breathing in and out is not the focus. The focus is the gap outside or the gap inside. Clear? Let's sit comfortably and easily and let's close our eyes. Take a normal breath in and out. Take another normal breath in and let go. Breathe in, 2. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And relax. And when you feel complete, very slowly and gradually, you may open your eyes. Is this clear? Kumbhaka is clear? Yeah, Kumbhaka pranayam. Just focusing on the gap, basically holding the breath inside and outside. And as we know Ujjayi breath, we can use Ujjayi. We can hold better with Ujjayi. Clear? Kumbhaka is clear? So there is another level in Kumbhaka when a yogi really becomes an expert in holding the breath in Kumbhaka. Yeah, he reaches a higher level where he can hold it like for a very, very long time. Of course, this is an advanced level, but I wanted to bring this to your attention that there is also something called as the Stambha Vritti Pranayam. In the Stambha Vritti, the posture shown in this particular picture is essential, and this helps you to retain that breath for a longer time. Yeah, that's the advanced level of Kumbhaka Pranayam. All good? Yeah.
So you have been doing pranayama practice anyways, yeah, that which we do with Sudarshan Kriya. It's not very different from this Rechaka, Puraka and the Kumbhaka pranayam. Just that in these they focus on that particular activity, either inhalation or exhalation or the gap. But Guruji has compiled all of them together and given you the 3-stage pranayam. So these are the techniques that are mentioned in the scriptures. Yeah? You don't have to necessarily follow these techniques, but it is good to understand this. If in future you move on to Yoga Vasistha and doing the one in Sanskrit, I don't have the Sanskrit version here, but it's pretty thick and has few volumes, then you will wonder, oh, when did we cover these sutras? So this is all there in the Sanskrit Sutras, where he explains all different pranayamas. All these techniques are explained. Yeah. He keeps saying that by the practice of this pranayama, the vibration of prana stops. Now what is this vibration? Prana is not like water flowing through tubes or pipes. Yeah, no. Imagine it like air. There's air in this room, yes, and there is free flow of the air in this room, but at the same time, it is not a strong motion. Yeah, it's just a free flow. Yeah. For example, if I start a fan here, a table fan here, what will happen? All the papers and books and everything will start flying. Yeah, that strong current of wind is not a simple flow. Yeah, it's like a vibration. Yes. So you understand the stillness that is there in the air right now without the fan is called flow, and when I turn on a table fan, the wind that it blows, the force with which that wind blows, that is a vibration or movement. Got it? Yeah. So prana is like that. It is like this air. Yeah. Your nadis are channels of this energy, and when the nadis are obstructed, this does not flow. Yeah. And at the same time, if there is a gush, yeah, this is usually because of some or the other disturbances in the nadis. Yeah, that is a vibration or movement. That movement needs to stop and just be still for it to be peaceful. Do you get it? Yeah? Like you're not peaceful in a tornado. Yeah? But you're peaceful when everything is nice and calm and there's a pleasant breeze. Not that when there's a strong wind like in the windy city of Chicago. It's not very comfortable, right? Yeah. So you got the difference between flow and vibration or movement. Yeah. So this vibration of the prana stops. Vibration of the prana stops basically means this tornado or this windy gush stops and just becomes nice and pleasant and smooth flow. Clear? Yeah. So when you do pranayama, when you do sudarshan kriya, this prana vibration stops and just starts flowing, being very pleasant and smooth. Clear so far? Yeah? Can we move ahead? Okay.
So the next technique, let's read from the book. It's in the middle of the last paragraph. Likewise, the closure of the posterior nares by the tip of the tongue as the prana moves towards the crown of the head. So what is this really? In Sanskrit it is called Kechari Mudra. Literally translates into tongue lock. Yeah? So what the advanced yogis do really here is they turn the tongue upwards towards the hard palate. You can all do that right now. Just touch the tongue to the palate. Now take it a little further behind and touch it to the soft palate. Yeah, this might be a little tougher. The third step of it is, obviously, if you really have a long and flexible tongue, you can touch it to the uvula behind. But if you cannot, it's okay. Yeah, with lots of practice, advanced yogis can actually touch it to the uvula behind. Yeah. Now look at the diagram. There is a space between where the oral cavity ends and the nasal cavity. Yeah, that space in between, the tongue can go right up till there, can reach the posterior nares, that is the nasal cavity. Yeah. So advanced yogis can actually take their tongue all the way back to the nasal cavity, and that is this Kechari Mudra or tongue lock. Yeah, there are lots of wonderful things said about the Kechari Mudra in the scriptures. It is said that you can get rid of hunger and thirst and even fainting because of starvation by doing this Kechari Mudra. So you heard about lots of yogis sit for years together and meditate, and the body becomes very thin But they don't die. They are sitting for years together meditating without food and water. This is that secret. The Kechari Mudra, the tongue lock, helps the yogi overcome the hunger or thirst or, the fainting that can occur thereof. Yeah. So that's the technique for closure of the posterior nares. Now, what does this technique do? This helps calm the prana down. Yeah. The vibration of the prana stops and hence the mind stops. This next technique is of meditation, which we all have been doing. This is the technique where, of course, you go beyond your sankalpas and vikalpas. What is sankalpa and vikalpa? Sankalpa is I want to do this, and vikalpa is, oh, I don't want to do this. This should not happen. Yeah. Positive thought is a sankalpa. A negative thought or intention is a vikalpa. Going beyond both, dropping. Yeah. When we did the nishkam karma, yeah, when you meditate like that, you go within, the mind comes up with sankalpas and vikalpas, and all we did is let go, become nishkam, devoid of desire. Yeah? And then you go beyond the name and form even. Name and form is all in thought, no? I think about a particular thing like an apple and the form comes to mind. I think about a particular person, yeah, Angelina Jolie, and a form comes to mind. I think about a particular situation, poverty, and the form comes to the mind. So a name and form are related. Yes, these are nothing but thoughts. Going beyond all of them, dropping all of them, becoming nishkam, yeah, and going within. Yeah. A subtle awareness is there of the Purusha or the self or the divine. And all these sense objects drop away, senses recede. And then you're somewhere deep down in meditation where you are in complete thoughtlessness. And that is where the vibration of the prana stops, or the movement of prana stops. Got it? This is the meditations that you have been practicing. Yeah? Guruji has been leading us through so many different types of meditations. So this is one more technique that you have all practiced several times. Clear? There is one more technique that Gurudev has also taught us. That is the next one. Holding of the consciousness steadily at a point 12 inches from the tip of the nose. Let's pick up the book now. Yeah, we did the practice of meditation where there is no movement of thought. We just completed that slide and we are moving on to the next one. The holding of the consciousness steadily at a point 12 inches from the tip of the nose. Yeah. Now, recently, if you've done some meditations with Gurudev, he has started those open eye meditation where you look down at 45 degrees. Yeah. So 45 degrees is almost the line of your nose. You look down. Yeah. And you fix a point which is approximately 12 inches from the nose. Yeah. You're not looking at anything particular. You're just focusing on the space that is 12 inches from the tip of the nose. With your eyes open, this is done. And you keep focusing. Slowly, slowly, all the thoughts of what you are seeing in that in that direction at 45-degree angle. Slowly, slowly they come and then they go, they quieten down. And then after a while, there's complete silence. Automatically your eyes probably close down. Yeah. And that is where you experience the stopping of this prana. Yes. So this also technique is something that we have all been practicing. Yes. If not, then take it for tonight's homework. Let's practice this open eye meditation. Gurudev led us through this meditation several times in the past few years. Let's just practice this meditation tonight before going to sleep. Start with 45 degrees, then slowly, slowly close your eyes. Yeah. And just keep it open at 5 degrees. And just 5 degrees is where it's just light is coming in. You cannot really see anything. Yeah. And then you can completely close the eyes. Yes? You got your homework for today? Okay. Let's move on. Let's look at the next technique. Go to the book. The entering of the prana into the forehead through the palate and upper aperture. Now this is a very advanced technique for advanced yogis who have been practicing pranayams and these techniques for a very, very long time. Yeah. Just with the intention, yeah, they focus on the breath, and just with the intention, they can move the prana into the forehead through the palate, as in they breathe in, and with the intention, the prana just rises through the palate and upper aperture, and it really just goes up in a straight line to the crown of the head, and rising up. This is the path of the Sushumna Nadi. Yeah? In most of us, Sushumna Nadi is not even active. Yeah? So the first thing is we have to really practice so hard to make our Sushumna Nadi active. Our always Ida or Pingala Nadis are active, right? Yeah? So the first thing is we have to work on our chakras, clearing up the chakras and getting to that level where our Sushumna Nadi path is clear. And then just with the focus on the breath, yeah, just draw that prana up towards the crown of the head through the palate and upper aperture. Yeah. This crown of the head is called Brahmarandra. Brahmarandra means the 10th door. What were the 9 doors? Remember we did in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5? Yeah, the 2 nostrils, the 2 eyes and the 2 ears. These are 6 doors. The mouth is the 7th door. The area of excretion and the area of procreation. These are total of 9 doors of the body that have been spoken about in the scriptures. Only a yogi can clear off all the blockages in all the chakras and have the Sushumna Nadi activated so that the 10th door, which is the Brahmarandra, which is on the crown of the head, that opens up. Yes, when that opens up, then the vibration of the prana stops. Yes. Of course, this is for advanced yogis only, and I'm sure you will all get there. Let's move on to the next technique. Let's go to the book. In the book, we look at the last but 4th sentence. the fixing of the prana at the eyebrow center. Yeah, what is the eyebrow center? What is that chakra called? The Ajna chakra. Yeah. So we did a little bit of meditation on the Ajna chakra when we did our Bhagavad Gita as well, right? Yeah. So you have done this technique, just fixing the prana at the eyebrow center. Here again, just focusing on the breath and at the same time focusing on the Ajna chakra. Yes. What this does is the vrittis calm down, which is vritti means nothing but the talking mind going on blah blah blah. This just calms down and the prana gets cleared off at the Ajna chakra. And there again, when the prana calms down, the mind dies and you experience the divine. Now this is a very beautiful picture. Please don't start imagining that you're going to have a white light coming out of your Ajna chakra. Yeah, those are all nice mythological stories. Yeah, and the picture is really beautiful, but understand there is no light really that is going to come out there. Yeah, this is just one beautiful depiction of what happens when the prana stops and the mind dies. Now let's look at technique number 11. Go to the book. The third sentence from the bottom. The sudden cessation of the movement of thought. Yeah, this sounds like meditation that you have been doing. Yeah, but it is deeper. How does this cessation of the movement of thought really happen? It's not the regular meditation where you drop the ragas and dveshas, all the sankalpas and vikalpas, and you go within. No. This is a different kind and a deeper kind of meditation where I just focus on the divine consciousness, on the truth, on the Purusha. I'm not focusing on what the mind is saying or what the mind is doing or the ragas and dveshas that are coming up. The focus here is on the divine consciousness or on the Purusha. And cessation of the movement of thought happens automatically by focusing only on the Purusha. Yes, this is an advanced technique again. This is not for the beginner. This is for somebody who has already come over the ragas and dveshas and sankalpas and vikalpas and has recognized that he is the Purusha, that he is that divinity within. So for him, it is very easy to just close the eyes and focus within and immediately be in the silence, the divinity that he is. The cessation of the movement of thought automatically is a happening there. Yeah. At this point, he is the knower of the divine. And of course, automatically the vibration of prana stops. Yes. Just to reiterate, this is an advanced level technique. That brings us to the last technique. So on that page, cessation of all mental conditioning through meditation on the space in the heart center over a long period of time. All these lead to arrest of the movement of prana. So how does mental conditioning cease here? Not by focusing on the mental conditioning, not by focusing on raga and dvesha or letting go of raga and dvesha. Just focusing on the heart center, anahata chakra, which is in the center of your chest. Just focusing there. We have done this a little in the Hari Om meditation, but this particular technique is where you are focusing only on the heart chakra. Yeah? And when you're focusing just on the heart chakra for a long time with normal breath in and out, what happens is that you get dissolved in the divinity. Yes, again, this is an advanced technique. Yeah, the absence of raga and dvesha is already given here. Yeah, so there are no objects of senses, which is vishayas, and there are no vasanas, means the impressions that these objects of senses leave on me. Yeah, there's just a continuous meditation on the divine. So these last two techniques are advanced techniques. We're just focusing on the Purusha. Yeah, it's a given that all the vasanas, vishayas, ragas, dveshas, sankalpas, vikalpas, nama, rupa has all dropped away. You have practiced all that. Yeah, this is a advanced technique again. And by doing this continuous meditation, the vibration of the prana stops.
So those were the 12 techniques. Yeah, these techniques are not only in the Yoga Vasistha, but you will find them in Upanishads, in the Vedas. You pick up scriptures and you will see different variations of the same techniques. Yeah, we are really lucky to have a master and to have this path really. Yeah, somebody who does not have a path and a master would be lost out there, isn't it? Yeah, is such a lovely master who shows us the path. So I've given you homework already. I told you to practice the meditation where you focus 12 inches away from the nose, the open eye meditation at 45 degrees. Yeah, and then you close little bit and just keep it open at 5 degrees where just light comes in. Yeah? Meditate for around 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes as long as you can in the night, tonight, and then go to bed. Yes? Yeah. And if you liked any of the techniques that were discussed today, you can definitely start practicing them. They bring about the stillness of the mind. When the vibration of the prana stops, the mind stops. Because the pranic body and the mind body are intertwined. Yes. All that we do with meditation, we stop one, prana stops, and then the mind stops. And you experience the stillness within. It's just like if you are standing on a pond, near a pond where it's very muddy and there are you have thrown a lot of stones. Yes? There are too many ripples. You cannot see the pond clearly. Yeah? You have to stop throwing those stones and mud and nonsense that you're throwing in, right? Just let it be. Just let it be. That's all you're supposed to do really. Just be. By just being, what happens? All the mud and the stone and everything settles down and lake becomes clear. Yeah? That means the prana vibration stops and the mind dies. Everything becomes clear. You become clear tonight. Yes? Practice the meditation and then go to sleep. Yeah? And I'll see you next week. Jai Gurudev.